good. It's a diamond event. It's an instant qualification for the tour finals, and I guess that's a good place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every player wants to win every tournament that they're playing, but this one offers that incentive. There's big points on offer here. There's a massive purse, and obviously if you go back to a few days ago, we've got the opportunity for some lower ranked players to come through qualifying.
Joey, obviously a fantastic setting as well for the players to perform on. We can see the pyramids behind us. It's not superimposed, is it? I mean, the wider shot that we saw at the top of the show gives it a bit more sort of status and shows us where we really are in the middle of the desert in Cairo.
No, I mean, I've been coming here a long period of time, and obviously the event in its different forms has been up here starting in the late 90s with the Al Aram, and it moves slightly. The setups are slightly different. We haven't got the main one in our studio that we had from last year, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's pretty surreal every time. I travelled up on the bus with Lisa and just the two of us. It was very romantic.
It's very romantic.
It takes your breath away, literally.
Sunset tour.
Yeah,
yes.
It's magnificent, and I just hope everything goes to plan here, and I'm sure the squash will be as exciting as it always is when we play up here on the Giza Plateau.
A little birdie told me it was a bit of a struggle getting past security, and also that the match referees are struggling to get here on time for the match as well. So there may be a slight delay to the start of this evening's matches.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really a struggle for us. Joey took his heels off and we just ran past every guard and guard dog that we saw and snuck in behind the pyramids. But yeah, the referees are struggling to get through the tight security at the gates.
Hopefully they'll be here. I mean, sense of occasion then. It's a diamond event, first diamond event of the season, and we've sort of highlighted what it means and the points that are available and the instant qualification for the tour finals. But how will the players approach this? We get a chance to see the big three for the first time in the women's draw.
Exactly, that was exciting. In particular, the return of Hania El Hamami. She's had a significant layoff now with that knee injury, struggled off the back end of the season, so she's had a good chunk of time now. Obviously, both Nuran Gohar and Shabini are going to have freshened up as well. They'll have watched at Ali Pali. They'll have seen the players playing there, and they'll be chomping at the bit to get started.
They will. I mean,
he's chomping at the bit. The flies.
I know. I think that's. You didn't have your shower after we came here on the plane. You're still kind of going ready.
Sweat.
But going back to the big three, I quite like the fact they held off from the London Classic, which was a wonderful event, and they were waiting for all the other players coming into their own backyard here in Cairo, and obviously Noor Shabini from Alexandria to really go for it. And just going back to your point about if you win this event, you know you're set up for the Squash Tour finals at the end of the season, which is pretty cushy, really. It's like, well, I'll win that, and I know that I'm going to be playing at the back end of June in another terrific event.
And the bonus for that is the bucks as well as the status.
It's good money, and I think it's going to be. I'm not sure if it's been announced yet, but it will be a very cool location. But I'll
you might blow the secret on that one by the end of this week.
Yeah, I'll keep that under wraps for a while, but it's going to be very exciting if it is where it's meant to be.
Ooh, the big three have won every single tournament since January 2020, which is an outstanding fact. Noor El Shabini, Nuran Gohar, and Hania El Hamami have won every single major event. I mean, does that happen in many other sports, Lisa?
Sorry, I'm
just getting sabotaged by a fly, but thankfully we're on the graphic.
I don't think it does. Not for a significant period of time, like 5 years. I mean, just looking at that there, that's staggering, really. You've got every major title there. Obviously, Nuran Gohar has won the World Tour Finals 3 times, which makes up the 5 years, and that is ridiculous. And really, no one's gotten particularly close to convince you that they're going to be replacing one of the big three, which is also really quite cool. I think that's kind of one thing that sets us apart as well as a sport, is we've got that massive talking point with these three big stars with really great personalities at the top of the sport.
No, and because of them, the level of the women's game is getting higher and higher. I mean, what's wonderful is obviously the level they're playing, the three of them, but also all the players behind. You know, the top 8 and outside, all the way through to 16, where you're starting to see the improvements, and they've had to, because you've got to compete with these players that are playing the best level of squash that's ever been seen on the women's tour.
I guess threats come from the likes of Olivia Weaver, but she's out injured. She won't take part here at the Egyptian Open. But then Amina Orfi's the next name down on that list, the world number 5. So could she be a player that threatens the big three this season?
Absolutely. I think she'll certainly have that as a target of hers. She got close at this event last year. She had
won the London Classic as well recently.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, she was 2-love up against Shabini, yeah.
Yeah, and she had a good opportunity to start last season with a big scalp. Maybe she can do that here. But yeah, I mean, looking at Orfi, she's got everything. I think we spoke a lot last week about how she developed so much throughout the season last year, which was really cool. There's a lot of players that take the summer period to develop their game and make improvements, but what was cool was she did that from the start to the end of the season. So she can do that again. She's so young, a lot of potential that it's kind of coming to life now. And
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, she's already beaten Shabini. She beat Weaver, and then she beat Shabini, and then she lost out narrowly to Gohar and Elguna, towards the end of last season. I mean, she's managed to beat, two of the top three and get games off of Gohar. She hasn't beaten Gohar yet, and she's a teenager still. So the fact that she's competing with those players at such a young age, when they were so good, so young themselves, it just shows that it's going to be the big four sooner than you think, I feel.
We're going to have to change all of our graphics. Oh, no. Let's have a look at the order of play for today, and we will see two of the big three in action from the women's draw. Nuran Gohar takes on Hannah Murtaz in our first match of the evening. Getting going 7 p.m. local time here in front of the Great Pyramids of Giza. Mustafa Asal, then the world number 1 of Egypt, takes on Sébastien Bonmarlé, and then it's Georgia Adley of Scotland against Nour El Shabini, the world number 2. And then Nick Wall of England gets a great platform here to showcase his squash against Diego Elias, the world number 2. So that's actually quite a nice lineup of squash to get us started here on day 2. But I guess there doesn't seem to be much threat there. What's our pick of the bunch there, guys?
I mean, I'm just looking back. I had to do some predictions earlier on, and looking back, I mean, Bonmarlé managed to sneak a game off of Asal in the World Championships last season. But I do feel, unfortunately, I'm going to be quite ruthless, and I feel it will be kind of 3 loves for the seeded players tonight. But what an experience for Georgia Adley. I mean, Hannah Murtaz
she's come close, hasn't she, a few times, I think. I wrote some stats down for her.
She hasn't quite managed to get a game off
quite
her
close,
opponent,
quite close, wasn't it? Last time they met, 11-3, 13-11, 11-9. So, I mean, that one that went to the tie-break in the second last time they met. So Adley will have that in the back of her mind that she's got close before.
Yeah, she will. And what better place to do it than at the bottom of the Pyramids in Shabini's backyard. In the first round as well, the first match for Shabini. We can see her, she starts slow sometimes, but it's the physicality. If she can bring in that physicality against Shabini, then she's definitely got a chance to put a dent in her. Going back to the form of her, I think she's had a great off season. She showed us that in London. She's playing really well. I think she's going to be one to watch this season.
I mean, to kind of aid the cause for Adley, Shabini can be slow off the mark. She can be slow off the mark. She hasn't played anything until this event. So we, wait and see, but they're just so comfortable out here, and it is trickier conditions. It's a magnificent setting, but it's very, very windy and dusty, and it's hot and bouncy on there. So it's going to be, it's not like playing in Edinburgh for Adley, but it's going to be an unbelievable experience that she'll, no matter how it goes, she'll remember for the rest of her playing career.
What differences are there out there for the players, again, I guess, for newcomers to the sport, or those that watch on the traditional courts? How does this court differ from any other court in the world?
It's outside for a start. You've got one of the
Put me in my place there, didn't you?
7 wonders of the world in your warm-up.
Ancient wonders.
Yeah.
It's the only one standing. It's the only one left.
And you were telling me that it's eroding.
It is eroding because of the pollution from the city.
Yeah,
sadly, but it's been standing for a long period of time. But it's what's going to be cool here is that the glass court's being used. The glass floor, should I say, is being used, which will certainly help the players, particularly in these conditions, because the dust. There's a lot of residual dust, a lot of wind. It's going to be having, it's going to need a lot of court maintenance, and the heat factor with the sweat. If the court's going to be nice and warm, the floor hopefully will get that kind of heated floor effect where the sweat will absorb. But it's going to be the dust is going to be. And you seem to be getting quite twitchy. You're getting quite a lot of dust in your eyes.
No, I'm good. Zachariah was just looking out there on court at the moment. So I guess he's one of the young male players that we're going to be keeping an eye on this season. Did you have him in your top 8 picks for making it to the Road to the Tour
Are we
finals?
giving that away already?
No, not yet, but I mean, it could still be a little bit of light discussion.
No, I didn't. I mean, I didn't. I feel
Why not?
I feel that because of factors with the other players as well, I feel he certainly will be getting in there, and he might get in there at the end of the season. But it's a difficult one with the men because you've got them set at the top end of it, and then there's players that are coming really to the twilight of their career, and then players trying to fill those boots but not quite stepping up to the mark. So I think it's quite open at the back end. He could well be at 9. If he gets in at 8, amazing for him, but he wasn't one of mine to go in. I definitely thought about him though, Michael.
Lisa?
I actually didn't think about him. Not disregarding him at all, I just think not yet. He's obviously got what it takes to put in big scalps, but consistently over the season to earn one of those top 8 spots. He was sitting at around 10 and 11 for me. I am very happy to be proven wrong though. Yeah, I just think we've got a very high caliber there still at the top of the game.
Okay, well, stay where you are. Well, you haven't really got any choice. You're going to be doing some commentary later here. Just stay right here. It is one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic sporting venue in the world. We're so privileged to be here. And we're not alone. We've got a very special guest with us this week. Who is it, I wonder? Saurav, it doesn't get much better than this. What a fantastic sporting venue.
Yes, it is. It is special, and you know, this is why we love this game of squash, where we can put the glass court anywhere in front of iconic venues like the Pyramids, and this week is going to be super.
So what are your memories of playing here at the Egyptian Open? I know we've had World Championships as well in Cairo, but it must be a great place to come to as players.
100%, you know, it's one of those iconic pictures that you grow up looking at, you know, the pyramids in the backdrop, and it's almost like a checklist item to kind of play here. So I was fortunate enough to play here a couple of times. But one thing I will say is that the people watching back at home and in the stands actually have a more special experience, because you can actually see the pyramids in the backdrop, whereas when you're playing, you don't actually see it. So it's kind of a little bit of an anticlimax when you're playing, but I'm really looking forward to actually watching it as part of the audience and taking it all in as a fan, so to say.
So one question we're asking everyone as well is if you could take this glass court and move it anywhere in the world. Let's start with India first of all. Whereabouts in India would you take the glass court?
I think the easy one to say is the Taj Mahal, because one of the 7 wonders of the world, and I think that would be very, very picturesque. But I think in terms of, you know, just visibility and things like that, I would say the Gateway of India in Mumbai. I think there's a lot of people over there, and it would really take the game to the masses, so to say. And for the world, I actually have a few options, in different categories almost. So starting with New York, Times Square, can't get any bigger than that in terms of, you know, visibility, people coming through, just the vibe and the hustle and the bustle of Times Square is just unbelievable. London is my favorite big city in the world, but London's weather is a bit temperamental.
Certainly is.
It's a bit temperamental, isn't it? But I would say Natural History Museum in London with the big whale.
And the dinosaurs as well, the prehistoric.
I think that would be quite a cool venue.
That is a good idea.
And then I would say in the Far East, the Great Wall of China. It would be opening new frontiers for the sport, and you know, it would be a great backdrop as well. So I think those would be my 3 bucket list items if I was deciding where to put the court in now.
Okay, they're going in the PSA suggestion box as we speak. Final question then, is there a home advantage for the Egyptian players? They must love coming back. The heat's going to play a part. We don't play until the sort of sun goes down, because at the moment it's about 36, 37 degrees Celsius. But is there a home advantage for the Egyptian players?
You would like to think so, and I think the past record over the last few years definitely suggests that. I think the players you have at the top of the game from Egypt feed off the atmosphere from the local crowd. They feel very comfortable playing in Egypt, and it's very difficult for someone kind of coming from another country to win here. It's almost like the last frontier of sorts for non-Egyptians, and I think Diego Elias did unbelievably well to win the World Championships here, but to kind of do it again and do it consistently is not the easiest thing in the world, and you would have to bet on an Egyptian winning this event again. But we hope, you know, it's going to be a week of very, very competitive squash and with some great matches to showcase that.
Well, welcome on board, welcome to the team, and let's get stuck into the action.
Sure thing.
Let's do it. And from one great ancient wonder of the world to another legend here, the first Indian player to make it into the top 10, Saurav Ghoshal joins us in the studio today. Saurav, thanks very much for joining us all this week. You sort of teed it up perfectly for us here, and you're grinning like a Cheshire cat. It's a huge event, isn't it, for the players?
Yes, it is, and you know, I'm so excited to be here. It's one of the marquee events on the PSA Squash Tour, and just like all the players, you know, I can feel the vibe, I can feel the excitement, and I can feel that this is going to be a great week moving forward.
I'm surprised you didn't get to see more of the pyramids, like during warm-up and things like that. Did you not go and stand out there and sort of suck in the atmosphere?
You know what, as players we are so zoned into like the small things and the tiny details and just focusing on how we want to play that we forget to see the rest of the world, you know, and life kind of takes you away. But I think now I have a little bit more time to kind of enjoy and appreciate you know, the venues that we have on the Squash PSA Tour, and I hope to do that.
Joey Barrington with us here, of course, as well as he is at every tournament. Joey, you were a bit surprised when he suggested the National History Museum in London. You hadn't thought of that one as a venue, Natural History Museum.
Natural History Museum. Yeah. I think it's brilliant. No, that really tickled me. I always thought Trafalgar Square, but we could be, with the weather. But that would be amazing with, maybe the T-Rex or, like you said, the well. I mean, it's very cool, Surav. I'm going to start badgering people, I think.
Where else? Where else could we go? I mean, you've been to some amazing places in the world with the tour. What are some of your favourite places?
Glastonbury Tour.
Yeah.
Could be Stonehenge.
Your house.
No, I mean, the beauty about our game is that we can do this. We're portable and we can pack up and go, and that's going to serve us brilliantly in the Olympics as a sport that is not a permanent facility, but we can do that. And when you're talking about in India as well, and then suddenly I was thinking, in Cambodia, Angkor Wat. I mean, it just goes on all these different areas. I mean, that's what's so cool about it. And I think we need to kind of unite with the tourism trades of these different countries, and do something like that. Having a first sporting feature in these amazing venues, these historic places around the world, and we should go for it. I mean, that would be cool. Why can't we do that? Why not?
And what is the mood of squash in India currently? We had an event there last season. It just looked buzzy. It looks wherever you'd put up the glass court, it would be well attended. Thousands of people turning up to watch first class squash.
Yeah, people are very thirsty for world-class squash there right now. I think squash has grown leaps and bounds over the last decade or so. We've had a good bunch of players in this past generation, and we have a few players in this generation who they can kind of look forward to and see them on the PSA Squash Tour, and hopefully they'll be here at the big events. We already have the boys here, and then we have Anahat Singh, the girl who's doing really well at 17. So the future is good in that sense, and we are trying our best to get some bigger events back in India, and that can only be good for the squash world overall.
Joey, did you ever get to go out on tour to India? I know you went to Pakistan quite a lot.
No, I did. I got to play in India, and there was the wonderful event, PSA Masters, which was at the Gymkhana in Mumbai, and oh my word, it was packed to the rafters. Yeah. It was absolutely packed to the rafters.
They do sport well out there. I did.
It was just brilliant. Exactly. You've had so much experience as well in India, and they love their sport, and it's that kind of. It's a party atmosphere, but knowledgeable about the sport, and just that energy that you need. And it doesn't always happen around the world, sadly, but it certainly does in your backyard.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like you said, we know cricket very well. I think we translate that to every other game that we get, and I think we appreciate world-class talent, and it's very important for us as a country as well to showcase that we're moving forward in the world, and we can host these big events. And obviously we're going for the 2036 Olympics as well, trying to do that. So I mean, more the better for us.
Okay, and breaking news coming out from the O West Club is that Paul Cole, champion in London just last week, has been knocked out of the tournament. Remember, it's just day 2, round 2. So that is the World Tour final standings, but that is going to have a huge impact with Paul Cole going out of the tournament, Mohammed El Shabaghi going out earlier in the day, the Squash Tour, and also Yao as well, who sort of put in a good performance. He's 3rd in that table. So we've lost Cole, Yao, and Mohammed El Shabaghi from that list already. I mean, that's a few shocks, isn't it, Joey? Pretty big news for day 2.
No, it is. I mean, we're just starting the season, and it's Mohammed played so well in the London Classic. He came unstuck against Makin, but it was a great match, and it just goes to show. I mean, it's for all the Paul Cole fans, that is a massive shock, and it is a shock for me personally, particularly off the back of London. But it just throws it in the mix again of what's up for grabs. That opens up a channel now for other players to get points, and they'll all be chomping at the bit as rivals. They'll be rubbing their hands with glee, sadly.
Yeah, and Surav, you spoke to Mohammed. I know when we were getting onto the bus earlier today, you had sort of just 2 or 3 minutes with him. What was his mood after his loss?
I mean, to be honest, when I bumped into him, I didn't know he had lost, because if I did, I wouldn't even go anywhere close to him normally.
You didn't say congrats.
No, I didn't say congrats.
Yeah.
But I think he's got more perspective about life now.
Yeah.
He was quite philosophical about the loss. He obviously felt that the Mimi played very well, and he wasn't quite at the races as how he would have liked. But he's at the stage in his career, I think, where he understands it, and us who are close to the game feel it as well, that he's going to have these weeks where his body is not going to actually respond the way he wants it to, but then he's going to have certain weeks where he's going to really push and do some damage even at the top end. and he will hope for his sake that those weeks are more during when he's actually in tournaments and not in practice. And we still want to have him on tour. He's a legend of the game. What he's done to stay in the top 10 for so long is absolutely unbelievable. So for his sake and for the tour's sake, I hope he can come back as the beast of Alexandria that we know.
Bristol.
Yeah, beast of Bristol now. Okay, stay where you are, chaps, because also this week, first diamond event of the season, but it is also the return of Mustafa Asal.
Spin the block, hit the gas, hit the gas.
So our first opportunity to see Mustafa Asal. How good is this going to be, Joe? How exciting to have Mustafa back?
It's going to be. I mean, he's defending champion for a start. He elected not to play London, so he's coming into his home territory here, and all eyes are going to be on him as usual. But I'm really excited because it's a different mindset. He's now defending a diamond status event in his own backyard. He hasn't won a world championship in Egypt yet. He won obviously in the States, so he does play well here. Loves playing here and the atmosphere. I'm sure what I want to see is the crowd coming in. You know, for the earlier rounds, it's been pretty lackluster at the Pyramids. It's a mission to get across Cairo.
It's tough to get in. I mean, let's just keep reiterating that. It's almost
the referees can't get in for whatever reason.
We have just heard that they have made it, and
I don't know if it was a quiz on the door, if it was a no-let stroke or.
Well, they go through everybody's passport, and they've got a scan of everyone's passport, and that process just takes a lot of time.
Yeah, but I mean, just going back to with Mustafa, he does bring in the crowd, so I really hope to see a decent amount in the earlier rounds. Maybe not tonight, but at least through the rounds pre-semis and final.
Saurav, let's just get your take on Mustafa Asal and what he brings to the table, and the magic, the controversy, which other aspects?
I want to say he brings explosiveness, just in the way he is as a person, the way he plays, the celebrations, everything, and you need some explosions to kind of spark things off, and that's what we're looking for in Mustafa Asal.
It makes for a good highlights video as well. You've always got to have those little bits in there as well. Let's have a look at the big rivals that we talked about. Well, Paul Cole, we won't see him again this week. He has lost in round 2, but Mustafa Asal, where will the threat come from? Will it be Diego Elias, Joel Makin? Diego's had the best run of form against him in recent months, seasons, and so what's our take from those graphics, Joe?
Well, I mean, Joel Makin's in his half, so the threat immediately is going to come from Joel. If he beats Joel, then it will be possibly Diego. Joel did take him out in 2023 in Canary Wharf. That was a 5-game, and that was a marathon match, and there was a lot of physical issues there. You've obviously seen the Squash Tour finals win, where Mustafa was struggling at some point, but all credit to Joel Makin, he converted. I mean, it's going to be a humdinger. I mean, Joel Makin will come in and thrive playing in this environment, and he's playing well. He narrowly, he missed out to Paul Cole. I wouldn't say narrowly, but he showed some good squash in the London Classic.
He owes Diego Elias a thank you letter as well, though, doesn't he?
Yeah. No, I mean, it was. I mean, but the quality of work in that semi-final with the two of them was superb, and Joel is battle ready. Yeah. So Mustafa is not battle ready yet, but we've got to see how that goes, and he's going to put pressure on the rankings with Paul Cole going out earlier, and that world number 3 spot, which is a massive jump. For 4 to 3 psychologically is a big jump. It doesn't make any difference in the draws, but saying you're world number 3 is a lot better than saying you're world number 4.
Glad you know your
Hey,
mathematics.
how much are we paying this guy? This is amazing. Saurav, I mean, how do you eclipse that?
I don't think I can, but I think what I would say is that that graphic, in terms of his immediate kind of competitors and rivals, it doesn't quite surprise me that Diego is the one who has caused him the most damage.
Why not? Why does
I think there are 2 things about Diego's game that kind of helps him almost counter Mustafa better than the others. Number 1, he just moves very smoothly, so he's able to kind of move around Mustafa quite smoothly and efficiently, which I feel like in a way irritates Mustafa a bit, right? And then the other piece is Diego naturally, when he takes the ball in short, does not take it in where he's wanting to keep the ball really, really short to the front wall. He's almost taking it in with like a bit of a push kill and a push drop, which kind of gets the ball back slightly, which takes away the explosiveness of a Mustafa Asal. And then I think Mustafa has to create more and do more to really, really hurt someone like a Diego. So I think Diego has a very good game to do that, and that's why Diego's had that success against him more consistently than all the other players on the tour.
Ball control as well. You know, he uses all four corners, Diego Elias. He works the ball brilliantly in all four corners, taking away that middle area where it can get congested for Mustafa, who loves to jump on the ball, cutting it off, you know, exert his presence. And Diego, when he's up for it, he's got physical presence. He gets irritable with Mustafa, and he holds his ground with him. Yeah. You know, Joel does as well. There's a common denominator why they're, you know, being able to get at Mustafa, but Diego holds his own, and he doesn't like that. He doesn't like feeling the presence. He likes to be the one that's giving the presence to his opponents, whereas Diego can hold that and show him that he's also on court and cast a shadow over him. But when Diego hits his four corners, his ball control for me is the best in the world at the top of the game, and he showed that for 2.5 games against Joel Makin in the London Classic. That's something to really watch, because that was magnificent. He was constructing variety and quality in all four corners. So let's hope he brings that here. Lion's Den, which is obviously, he's won in the Lion's Den before, and I'd love to see him do something here on the pyramids and put a South American pyramid up here.
Okay, predict a winner at the whole tournament. That's what we're going to go for here. Can Mustafa Asal defend his title in the men's draw, and who's going to win it in the women's? It's Nour El Shabini, I think, that's the defending women's champion. So 2 names from you both, please. Sourav, we'll come to you first.
I'm going defending champions winning it again, Asal to do it again, and Nour Sherbini to show why she is the princess.
Okay, Joey.
I mean, you know what? I'm gonna put it out there. I mean, I think Mustafa's going to play superbly well here. He's got to get past Joel as well. I'm going to go. I think Diego's going to cause some problems. I think Diego could take this. I'm going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons, the puma amongst the pigeons, yeah. And for the women, I'm going to go for a Narong Gohar.
Okay, you heard it here first. You weren't 100% sure that one.
It's a tough one. It's
tough. It's tough, Michael. You know, I can't look into a crystal ball and see what you're going to look like in 10 years, and I can't predict who's going to necessarily win this, but I'm going to have a good go at it.
Okay, Sourav, we'll see you in the commentary box for this first one with Lisa Aitken. Joey, you're going to stick close by, because we're about to hop over to Squash TV. If you don't have your Squash TV subscription for this tournament or for the season, squash.tv, just go there now and then hop over to watch us on Squash TV. If you're watching on YouTube for free, see you tomorrow. Bye for now.